Hi, my name is Adam Fletcher, and for this, the 72nd installment of my video series about the roles of young people throughout society, I want to talk about letting go and taking charge. Lately, I've been talking with teachers across America focused on this question of letting go and taking charge and how that plays into student voice and meaningful student involvement. I think that we have an issue across this country of adults who are deathly afraid of the ability of young people to actually manage their own lives. What that amounts to is a great deal of adult authoritarianism and control for the sake of control, rather than control for the sake of learning, control for the sake of teaching, and control for the sake of leadership. Young people are growing up devoid of a sense of democracy and civic engagement. They don't know why they're doing what they're doing, whether they're in a youth program, in a classroom, or in any kind of setting throughout our communities, especially work and home. Young people don't understand the roles that they play. That's because adults are largely incapable of letting go and allowing young people to take charge. Now, I'm not asking you to hand over the keys to the car to a 16-year-old and tell them to teach themselves to learn how to drive. That's ridiculous. It's irresponsible, and it's belittling not only to you as an adult, but also to the young people who you live with and love, serve and belong to every single day. The responsible thing to do, what you know to do already, is to behave in a way that acknowledges both your knowledge and young people's desire to learn. If a 16-year-old wants to learn how to drive, we get in the car with them and we teach them. Not in a day, not in a week, not even in a month sometimes, but instead over time, gradually. We read books, we watch videos, and we actually drive cars long before we ever get our licenses and go rip up the streets. The same thing can be said of any program, of any situation, of any opportunity where young people can lead. We shouldn't just hand over the keys and expect them to figure out how to do it on their own. Instead, as responsible, ethical adults who work with young people, who live with young people, or who are raising young people as parents, we should teach young people the things that they need to know in order to be able to do what they need to be able to do. Our ultimate responsibility is to foster their independence, not their dependence on adults and society. What that means is that it takes time, process, and energy to actually instill in young people the values that matter to us, but also to help them learn for themselves the things that they need to know in order to be independent. If they need to know about money, we need to teach them about how to earn it, what it means, what it does, how to save it, how to invest it, and what difference it can make in their lives. If they need to know how to live on their own as an adult, then we need to teach them that. These aren't skills that should be fought for and won over time. They should be things that adults take responsibility for teaching to young people. If we don't do that, we're actually not helping young people. We're actually harming them. This question of letting go and taking charge is at the very core of all youth-driven programming. It's at the very core of youth work and youth involvement and youth voice of any kind, no matter where it's at the home, in the church, in the school, at the business, in government, and throughout our society. Everybody should be concerned with this question of how do we build the capacity of young people to become independent and do what they need to do, not only for themselves, but for our communities and for the future of the world. When we don't do that, we're eschewing our responsibility, and we're not helping them learn theirs. This is Adam Fletcher, and I hope that you gained a little bit by watching this. If you have more questions, ideas, concerns, share them in the comments section below. Let's start a dialogue. If you want to learn more about what I'm talking about, check me out at adamfletcher.net. I hope you have a good day, and we'll talk more soon. Peace.